Hey guys, back again to review these shoes that I was trying out today. Today I tried out the New Balance V4 or the Rebel V4, and this was the first time I think in a while that I've tried just a pair of running specific shoes. Maybe I'm wrong on that, I'm not sure. Anyway, New Balance has it figured out, man. They really do. When it comes to this foam, it is no joke. It is one of the springiest foams I've ever felt in my life. The step-in comfort, just walking, felt good, and it's a running shoe, but it just felt great all day long. The materials are super lightweight, so it's a really light shoe. I don't measure shoes, I mean in terms of, I don't put them on scales and stuff, but I'm just telling you it's an extremely light shoe. The materials are not you know, in terms of the uppers, not what I would call durable. The emphasis is definitely on keeping everything as lightweight and minimal as possible. It was interesting when I was purchasing them. There was a young boy who was probably around 12, and he really wanted the shoes, and his dad was just chewing him out, man, and telling him absolutely not. And because from the father's standpoint, all they were foam, a stack of foam, and just basically nothing, some stitches, I think he referred it to, up on, in the top, in the upper. It was really just a super light, it is an extremely light material, almost think Band-Aid type material, just very thin. And because from when you spend, you know, $100 or more on a shoe, because right now these shoes are priced at $100, but at the time I mean they probably more, and he was coming from a standpoint of durability, and from that standpoint, absolutely, I think maybe the father has a point, definitely. Now if that little kid was a runner and they just, you know, they really wanted to take it seriously, these shoes it would be hard to beat them. I mean, they're really great shoes, and I'm a big guy, so I'm not out there running, but I can tell you when I step in these shoes, it's like boing, like it wants to propel you forward, and but not in a weird way. It's just in a very comfortable way. I think that these would be a really great, if I was a runner, I think these would be kind of like a daily kind of run shoe. Although the comfort is such that I know that runners are starting to specialize into like a daily tempo run shoe. They'll also have a recovery day shoe. They'll have race day shoes. This is kind of like a middle of the road shoe that, like, I would imagine some people could really utilize this shoe in a great way and could use this for a race as well. I think it's probably more suited for a daily run kind of shoe, and then but it also kind of covers a basis for recovery as well, because the shoe is extremely comfortable, and the foam is extremely forgiving. So I think it's just a really good middle of the road running shoe. Now with that said, I actually played basketball in this shoe today, and you would think that would be like a really idiotic thing to do, and I would probably agree it's not the smartest thing. I was aware of like my foot placement, making sure I wasn't overextending myself, you know, doing lateral movements and everything. I just tried to stay more upright, and with that said, it did a fantastic job. Like, the traction was great on the court, like absolutely great. They felt like better than a lot of basketball shoes. However, I just would not want to depend on this shoe as, say, playing another sport beyond just running in it, just due to the lack of side-to-side stability. But just gotta know it held its own even on the court. It did okay. you don't really want to push it to its full limits, you know, or else, because like I said, the upper is not the most durable thing, so it's not going to be extremely forgiving if you decide to do movements that the shoe was not designed for. There was really no pain at all throughout the day with anything regarding the shoe. Like, my feet stayed comfortable all day. I did forget. So in the back heel, I made a mistake. Well, no, on the Achilles, I made the mistake of wearing ankle socks. And yeah, that's probably not, I mean, you can get by with it, but if you were doing a run, just make sure those ankle socks will stay slightly above the rim of the shoe, the upper rim, because I started to get some heel rub on one of the shoes, on my left shoe, and that was a little bit annoying, but I just kind of stayed cognizant of it and made sure I kept my sock pulled up to cover that. They're not like, I'm wearing shorts, and stylistically I don't really want to be wearing ankle socks with the shoes. So not ankle socks, but like a full length crew or something, or even a mid-length crew sock. I really didn't want to do that, especially on a hot day. But yeah, just make sure that your ankle sock can cover that, because there's a good chance you will experience some heel rubbing on the back. It's just not designed. It is kind of rigid there in the back near the Achilles, and it's not as forgiving as one might want. They could have alleviated that with just a tiny little strip of foam or something on the back ridge line of that shoe, but they just, again, emphasis was on keeping everything lightweight. All right, well, that's all I needed to say about the shoe. I think it's a fantastic shoe, one of the best purchases you can spend your money on if you're thinking about the shoe. Yep, see you all tomorrow.